بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدك الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فاعلم إن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثات بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Verily all praise to Allah, we praise Him, we seek His help and forgiveness. We believe in Him and place our trust in Him and Him alone. And I seek refuge with Allah from the evil of my actions and from myself. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can misguide him after Allah. And whomsoever Allah leaves in error, there is none that can guide him after Allah. I declare openly none is worthy of Allah. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His final prophet and messenger for all time to come. O you who believe, have taqwa for Allah to the best of your ability, the taqwa that is due to Him, and do not die unless you are Muslim. O humanity, reverence your guardian Lord who has created you from a single person and from him his mate, and from them too many men and women. And fear your Lord through whom you demand your mutual rights, and respect the ties of kinship and the wombs that bore you. And Allah is an ever watcher over you. O you who believe, have taqwa for Allah to the best of your ability, the taqwa that is due to Him, and always say a word directed to the right, for He will forgive you your sins and set right your affairs. And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has indeed gained a magnificent achievement. As to what follows, we must know the best speech is the speech of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best guidance is the guidance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the worst of affairs are the innovative matters in religion. Every innovation is going astray, and every going astray is in the hellfire, and from that we seek Allah's protection. With jazakumullah khairan to all of you who have taken time out of your schedules to come this evening to the monthly We Care Masjid meeting, and tonight we have a special guest who's going to share with us his concern, his purpose for being here, that I think is very, very timely in light of the fact that we have just recently experienced the disastrous flood that has affected most of South Carolina, in particular Richland County and the city of Columbia, and also in light of the fact that our brother Tawheed and those working with him, his wife, have embarked upon an effort to initiate such a response to these disasters from the Muslim community by the grace of Allah, by the grace of Allah, by the grace of Allah, from the blessing that we have with us, Brother Derek, who works with Islamic Relief, and he's going to be here for the next week as they go out in the field to provide services to those in need. Just a brief note, those of you who may not know, Islamic Relief is a worldwide organization that provides disaster relief and assistance and have a long track record, almost 20 years in the field of providing very effective relief assistance to those in need when facing many, many disasters. They have been recognized by the federal government as being one of the leading relief agencies, and if you were to go online and actually research their expenditures as it relates to how much actually reaches the people who they service, many charities, you will find that many of them spend as much as 30 or 40% on administrative costs alone, which will tell you that how little actually reaches to the people. So, but Islamic Relief is not like that, alhamdulillah. And so we want to hear from Brother Derek, who will share with us what he does, what Islamic Relief is doing, and how we can plug in with them in dialogue. Derek, if you would.
Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate you all coming out and giving me a couple of moments to speak with you. As he mentioned, I work with Islamic Relief USA. And he's right, about 20 years ago, the organization started here in the United States to help people in crisis all around the world. Then about 4 years ago, the organizational leadership said, you know, we play a role in crisis events that take place all over the place outside of this country, but when something happens right here, we don't seem to do anything. And so the organization wanted to put together a plan that would help communities in recovery that experience crisis events that take place here in the United States. And so that's exactly what we did. And 4 years ago, we began forming disaster response teams all over the country. Right now, we've got 15 different what we call bases of operation in cities like Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., New York City, some of the larger cities. We have trained teams so that when something happens there, we're able to assist with the people that are right from that community. Well, things tend to happen outside of those communities sometimes, like, for instance, Colombia. We have not trained any individuals in Columbia, South Carolina. And therefore, tonight, as a matter of fact, we've got people arriving here that will be helping the next week in the recovery effort. We're going to be doing something called disaster assessment, which is nothing more than going out into a community and determining how much damage has been done to the home. The reason that is important, before FEMA can start issuing checks, before other NGOs, non-governmental organizations, start giving help to people, their homes have to be assessed in a very formal way. We have people that have been trained to do that. They have that skill set, and so that's what we're going to be doing for the next week, is going into communities in Charleston, in Columbia, in some of the outlying areas, and assessing those communities so those individuals can start getting assistance. Then once that's done, Islamic Relief actually gives cash assistance to some of those very people whose homes have been assessed. Depending on where their home is assessed, the category that it's in, that will determine how much help Islamic Relief will be giving to those individuals. That's one of the skills that our individuals have. 2 months ago, we were in Washington State. You probably heard about the wildfire. We didn't do assessment there. What we did there was we helped shelter the community. So we went to one of the shelters there, and we actually ran and managed the shelter. It was individuals like yourselves who had received training from us in the previous months ahead of that disaster, who were used to help shelter individuals who could no longer stay in their homes because of the fires that were devastating their homes or threatening them. And so this is what we've done over the last 4 years in 15 different communities. We would like to come to South Carolina. And what we do on these type of disasters is we reach out to members of the Muslim community and say, hey, listen, Islamic Relief is willing to come into your community at no cost and start training some of the individuals like yourselves so that the next time a crisis event takes place like this in South Carolina, we won't have to bring people from the outside into this community to help in the recovery. It'll be you helping your own community in the recovery efforts that take place right here in your home area here. In addition to that, it would give you the opportunity to help some communities outside of this particular area. We're going to bring some people here tonight from New York, Chicago. I think we've got one person even coming from Texas that's going to come here into Columbia and help them, a fellow neighbor, in the recovery effort. And Islamic Relief is willing to invest, because that's what it is, in people like yourselves to, as a give back, I think, more than anything else. Islamic Relief has been supported by the community for over 20 years now. And as part of that give back to the community is Islamic Relief saying, hey, we're willing to come in and train. We're willing to have you deploy with us to help other communities in recovery. We're willing to do all of that. And since this program has began, no volunteer has paid one dime for anything that they've done with us. And that's been flying people from where they are to where the disaster is, feeding them while they're there, lodging them for the period of time that they're there. Islamic Relief is investing in individuals like yourselves to help communities in recovery. And so that's why we're here this week. We're going to be here until next Saturday, helping out. Now, we work long hours when we're here. We'll be working, showing up at the headquarters at 8 o'clock in the morning and going until dark every day and probably into the evening. But that's what we do. As volunteers, we invest our time into the effort that we've declared that we want to assist in. And so we're here talking with some of your leadership about the hope of putting together about 20 to 25 of you guys, or of you individuals, and coming, receiving some training. And again, the next time something like this happens, it'll be you helping your own community in the recovery effort. Obviously, Islamic Relief is willing to support. We'll send individuals to help you through this process. And we're excited about the fact that you all are willing to show up and listen to us talk about this a little bit. And we hope that we'll be able to partner up. I've been talking to, give me your name again? Talib. I've been talking to him, and he's already been thinking about some of this stuff. Unbeknownst to us, while we were thinking about coming and helping out here, he was already thinking about putting something together. And it just so happens we showed up here this afternoon, and Brother Muhammad there was willing to...
you call Muhammad.
Yeah, there you go.
He was dreaming about Muhammad.
There you go. He was willing to allow us to come and speak to you for a couple of minutes. So it seems as if it's all working together so far. So hopefully we can bring this thing together and bring you in to this whole thing. So that's all I've really got to say.
Thank you, Brother Derek. And we want to also, in return, you understand, to show appreciation to your trip, we want to give you some relief also from our organization here, or the mosque, because and وَإِنَّ الْأَخِرَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ, indeed, the hereafter is the real life. So we can make it, okay, everybody who give him money or a car or a shelter, in the end, all of us going to die. But what's going to happen to our soul and our body when we die? This is something very important. So I don't know why Islamic Relief did not make some effort about some of their workers. Okay, I assume they did, but inshallah we'll try to present you with something, what we call it, relief in this life and the hereafter. And you know what this is? Islam.
Understood.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Sabri.
Before you leave, if we can just allow for brothers and sisters, if you have any questions that you would like to ask him, let's take a few moments to do that, inshallah.
Sure.
Yes, Sister.
Yeah, with that, is that if you manage to get these organized, is that something that's going to be like a whole different entity on its own, or is that going to be managed by the masjid?
Good
Because
question.
I saw it on the internet, you know, it's like they're on their own in different places. They're not really with the masjid that
Right.
they're working with.
Well, I'll tell you this. We're open to different suggestions as to how to do it. I can give you an example as to how we have done it in many communities around the U.S., and we're open to all of those. Our intent is to get this community educated in how to participate with the disaster response community that's already here functioning. We want to get you engaged with that same community so that the Muslim community is a part of the disaster response community. What we realized when we started doing this work, we would talk to people in the disaster response community and we would say, hey, listen, we'd like to get the Muslim community involved in the activity there. And their response to us was, oh, we didn't know they wanted to do that. And then when we would talk to members of the Muslim community, we would say, listen, we want to get you involved with the disaster response community. They would say to us, oh, we didn't think they would allow us to do that. And so we said, well, wow, we've got two things being said that are kind of missing each other. And so what we're trying to do is serve as a bit of a liaison and link up both the disaster response community, which we're a part of. We're a national GOAD member, we're a national partner of the American Red Cross, etc. It goes on and on. We're trying to serve as a liaison between the Muslim community and the disaster response community to bring them together in some way.
One more question.
Sure.
Same issue. Because if you do it on your own here, I know you guys get federal funds, to help you.
Actually, that's not correct. Islamic Relief does not get federal funds. We're a donor-based organization, and that's where our funding comes from.
I read it because I went on the internet and I because it was something I've been thinking about.
Wait, one second, please, because I want to hear what you're going to say, okay? Let's Trisha Train go first. Train, let the train go first so we can hear you. Do you mind? Hurry up.
Won't be rushed.
Please.
Okay, I just want to make sure because that's something really important for us to be involved in as with our masjid.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is actually the image that we want the world and especially the community to know.
Understood.
This is a pillar of Islam anyway, and so I want to make sure that if we're going to be in it, and this is just my own personal, then it should be part of us because we're going to organize this and
Understood.
do it outside, then it won't really show, the full Islamic participation in it.
Sure. Well, I can tell you this. Islamic Relief USA is willing to partner with the mosque here. We're perfectly open to that and have done that in various communities. As a matter of fact, to the point, we actually have gotten a number of mosques certified as public shelters in various cities, in Dallas, Texas, in Los Angeles, California. These are now facilities that anytime there's a crisis event in that community, they will be asked if they would like to serve as a public shelter for the entirety of the community. That is something that Islamic Relief came in, linked up the disaster response community with the leadership of the Muslim community, and now have brought them together so that when there's a crisis that affects that area, it is the mosque, the Islamic Center of Reseda, which sits in California, in Los Angeles. The next time there's a crisis event there, they will be asked, do you, and they always have the ability to say yes or no, but they will be asked, would you like to serve as a public shelter for the community? So again, I think that shows that we are willing to serve as that liaison and bring the disaster response community and the Muslim community together, and hopefully neither loses anything, or that's certainly our intent.
And furthermore, I hope the intent is to service outside our Muslim community because that's actually what because I heard you earlier about targeting the Muslim, families. Of course, we do have families that are severely affected. But I hope, and the intention is to serve outside the Muslim community.
If I could, and if I haven't been clear on this, then I am remiss in what I have said to you.
Maybe I misunderstood.
Notice I said public shelter. When I say public shelter, what that means is it's open to the entirety of the community. Every program that we run is open to the entirety of the community. We understand, because we are Islamic Relief USA, that there is a certain bent that we have. Just like, for instance, if I was from Catholic Charities, there would be a certain bent that I would have towards Catholics. Yes, we got that. But again, we serve the entirety of the community in everything we do, every class we give, every, like for instance, when we go out and assess the community over the next week, we're not just assessing the Muslim community, no. We're assessing the city of Charleston. We're assessing the city of Columbia. It's the entirety of the community. And like I said, if I wasn't clear in that, forgive me. That was...
I'm sorry, it may be me that was misunderstood.
That's okay.
I was just going to...
Understood.
Who are your donors when you get your fund?
Now,
Because I donate to you.
well, thank you so much.
Everybody donates.
I will say, primarily our donors is the Muslim community. That's true.
Globally.
Which is one of the reasons why, when we offer classes, in many cases, when you look at where we've offered classes, they're generally in the local mosque, in the Islamic Center, etc., because we do understand that that is our donor base. And so as a give back to that very community, we are here offering the free training, offering the deployments of individuals that can come with us at no cost to themselves. We do all that in response to the donor that has supported us for all these numbers.
They have visited the masjid, as you may recall, during Ramadan and raised funds,
Right.
just like they've done around the country.
And we do that a lot. We raise funds a lot, and I think what this program is saying is, look, we want to come to you sometimes and not go in your pocket, because we know that we do that enough, I think, and what we hope is that this offering shows that we do want to be more than just an individual organization that is taking. We want to give, and that's what this program is about, is giving, I hope.
So does this, that's what I was kind of confused about at the beginning too, as if it was just Muslims or public, but does Islamic Relief give any preference to Muslims first over other people, or is just everybody, it's just equal across the board?
Yeah, it really is equal across the board. To be
So Islamic Relief could go out and assess, 15 houses, and none of them probably could be Muslim, just whoever it is.
Oh, undoubtedly, yes. As a matter of fact, when we get assigned tomorrow, we'll check in at 8 o'clock over at the headquarters, which is over on, I think it's Camden Street, I believe. We'll go check in there. They don't care that we're Islamic Relief. What they care about is that we've got certified disaster assessors. And they will say, oh, wow, we've got a community that is only 10% assessed. We need to get the 90% assessed. Hey, we need to use your team to get this 90 assessed up in Charleston. And so that's where we'll go. They don't care anything about the fact that whether it's a Muslim community, Catholic community, Jewish community. No, they want this community assessed because only 10% has been assessed.
Just out of curiosity, do you ever get any weird things going to somebody's house saying, I'm with Islamic Relief?
Well,
I'm here for your house.
it's an interesting, because we go into, I could give you some stories and I'm not going to waste your time, but we go into some very traditional communities, Tuscaloosa, Alabama we've been, Little Rock, Arkansas, some very challenging communities that have very traditional values, so to speak. And so there is occasionally some pushback to, wait a minute, Islamic Relief. There is some of that. But one of the, if you look at this vest I have on, one of the rationale and reasons why we came up with this vest in concert with the American Red Cross is because we understand that there is going to be some within the community that have an immediate resistance to Islamic Relief USA. And so what we show through this vest, and we hope, is that the community has come together in this effort. American Red Cross, no more apple pie than that, I guess, and Islamic Relief are here working together to serve you all in recovery. So that's what we try to do.
While you're doing this work until next week, are you looking for donations or goods that you're going to carry over to the various communities?
Only cash.
I will say that we're an operations unit. If you say you want to give donations, what I will tell you is irusa.org will allow you to give that online. Certainly no organization is going to turn down money, quite obviously, but that's not my skill set. I'm not a fundraiser. Like I said, we're not here to go in your pockets this time. Okay, I say that because I do have some people that work for my organization. That's what they do. I mean, that is their job. It's not mine. And like I said, we're not going to turn down money, but that's not what I'm here for. Is that part of it. Okay.
If you don't mind,
the
but that's
website,
okay.
you can pick the specific
Okay.
areas you want to
Precisely.
donate, or you can give a general fund which is applied across the world, wherever they.
Somebody.
If I can add, if you go to the website, there, one of the banners is for South Carolina, and it's a U.S. humanitarian fund. So if that's what you want to donate for.
She's the expert. She knows. So there you go.
Okay. Excuse me. As you know, this was a monthly meeting. We get it only once a month. And Derek actually, although that he's not a Muslim, but I assume that he did not get a hard time to get in today. Okay? So basically, we appreciate you being here and the time and the information, but Brother Sabri, I would like to get Tawheed, you understand, to the table, because we did not even discuss anything in our agenda yet. And I can hear from Tawheed what he can, what we could not. And maybe also if Derek have at least 5-10 minutes to sit down. If Derek have the time, you understand, for another 5 minutes, you can listen to what Tawheed want to say, so he maybe can give us some advices about it, inshallah. And after this, we try to get to our agenda for today. Thank you very much.
So much.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Tawheed. Brother Tawheed, can I do this for you, please? I want you at the table because we only have 20 minutes before Maghrib and we have a long agenda for today.
You take one and pass it around.
Long agenda set, we only have 2 items on the agenda.
Brother, you can take in one item, you can take a whole day.
And this is one of the items.
Okay.
We halfway done.
All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My dear brothers and sisters of Colombia and any of our guests from outside, Assalamu alaikum.
Please introduce yourself. I'm sorry to say this.
My name is Brother Tawheed. You may have seen me around the masjid. I have grown up here from a young age. So this masjid has been like a home away from home for me. And if you've been in South Carolina for the last week, or if you've seen the news, you've seen how bad the flooding has been. I don't really need to go over that. But, you know, Derek has brought up a great point for the need for disaster relief and the importance of having an organizational structure in administering that relief. This idea, if you can see this, the handout, the idea is to basically have our Muslim community come together and organize a relief initiative. This will unite the Muslims across Colombia, not necessarily limited to this community, but all of the Muslims. And we can try to have a joint effort to help families rebuild what they've lost to the flood damage. The Muslims across Colombia, mashallah, all of you are very generous in donating and stepping out and helping up individually. But the importance of having an organized effort is, first of all, efficiency. We want to be able to get all of our logistics together. We want to find out who is the hardest hit where, how many people. You want to assess, you know, the gravity of the situation, and we want to be able to see. We all have different skill sets, so we want to be able to see who can do what, who can help which person in need in what aspect. And finally, if we were to organize an effort together and we were to help and people were to see the Muslim community stepping out into the greater community in Colombia and all across South Carolina, that action for itself speaks for itself and it becomes a form of da'wah. So that our friends and neighbors in this state, in our locality, you know, they can see who the Muslims are and they can have a better understanding of what Islam is. So some ideas for the event are put onto the sheet. Nothing is definite yet and everything is up for discussion since this is a organized community response. We're all in this together. So all of your values are, all of your ideas are highly valued. Well, a lot of people have suffered a lot of damages to their homes and they've lost a lot of their possessions. So we were thinking one of the first things that we could do is go to the community and organize a donation drive where they can take some of their items they no longer need and we can have a sort of garage sale in the masjid to be able to raise money and use that money for additional funding. And this garage sale, it can go towards people who have lost possessions in the flooding and the storms, or it can go to anyone. the money that, like we said, that we can raise will go to relief efforts, so we can find out how we can best help people in need. Second of all, at this event, we can organize a sort of fundraiser lunch or dinner. First of all, if you have food at an event, you're guaranteed to find people. Some ideas are like lasagna. I mean, if you're here during Ramadan, you all know how the lasagna night turns out. The whole community comes together, and it's a very fantastic turnout. Mac and cheese, pancakes, and you can just sell a plate for a few dollars and then raise money for relief that way.
Brother Tawheed, I'm sorry. I assume that you have a meeting tomorrow in details, is it?
Right.
So basically what you try to target out of this, because the people have the information in writing, and there is a meeting specifically for this,
right,
which is going to be tomorrow. What you try to target tonight is getting to see who would like to volunteer or who want to participate or how they can get back to you, something like this.
Right.
Because we have 10 to 15 minutes max to discuss things after this related to the community. So what your main concern tonight to tell the people what?
Okay, to sum it all up, we want to plan as a community an event to be able to give relief to our local community that was hit by this flood as a unified, organized effort within the Muslim community. The two main ideas that we brought up, like I said, is the garage sale through a donation drive and through a fundraising meal. If you have any other suggestions, there is a contact email at the bottom of the flyer. And if any of you are interested in getting involved in this effort, I have two sign-up sheets, one for the brothers and one for the sisters. So I can hand that out.
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, everyone. Thank you.
So please kindly, if anybody concerned and want more details, tomorrow, there is a weekend Islamic school tomorrow, inshallah. And 2 o'clock will be the meeting after Salat al-Zuhr immediately. For those who want to get more details, get involved. You understand that please try to show up tomorrow. If you could not, at least leave your name and your phone number with Brother Tawheed tonight. So inshallah can be contact later on.
I
Good.
would also should like to recommend that Brother Tawheed would be the contact person as our representative to Islamic Relief should anything develop with that relationship.
Sure. Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Brother Sabri, I think you have 2 items in our meeting.
Actually, that was item number 1. That was how do we as a Muslim community respond to disasters as they occur. Oftentimes, as Derek pointed out, many people in the broader community, they see us as being invisible or having no part in these types of events. So this, alhamdulillah, was very timely, as I mentioned earlier, and so we hope, inshallah ta'ala, that all of you would take into consideration how this may impact our community here, or whether you want to be involved, or whether you can encourage others to participate in this type of training so that we can have a very visible presence in times of need such as what we've just experienced. I would just like to point out that, Tawheed, you might want to make note of this too, as it relates to the disaster relief, that we don't, yes, it's a form of da'wah, but we don't want to use this just for the da'wah, because that sends the wrong message. We have to be genuine and sincere. If we're giving help to the people, we do it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they learn that we're Muslims, alhamdulillah, this is going to be automatic da'wah. You see, but if you go and you say, try to help them, and then on the one hand, you're passing out a brochure, and on the other hand, you say, this is like, this is what the colonialists did when they came to America to rob the Indians of their land, and when they went into Africa. So we have to be, sensitive to that as well. So that was one item. The other item that I thought we might need to address is one that maybe some of you have received emails about of the event that's taking place or has taken place around the country, and that is the anti-Muslim or anti-Islam protests. One was supposed to have taken place yesterday in Charleston, South Carolina, and I spoke with one brother there who said no, they postponed it until tomorrow, which was today. They were going to do it at Jum'ah, but whatever this organization is doing, they're calling for anti-Muslim protests all over the country. And to show you how close it is, and Charleston's only an hour and a half away, it could very well come here. So what would be our response? You see, are we prepared to deal with it? How do we handle these types of things? This is a very serious concern, especially with the political season cranking up and Islam and Muslims, becoming front and center, the topic of discussion. We need to, as a community, really raise our awareness and response level to this situation. So this is what I wanted to discuss, and so I thought we would take some time to discuss it, get your feedback, and see how we should address it. It has to do with security. It also has to do with educating and awareness, and it has to do with people skills, social skills. How do you deal with these people if they happen to show up, for example, out on the street and that type of thing? Habibi.
I was going to say something about the first issue you brought up,
which was
the relief thing.
No.
And basically, how you were saying that, like, it's a timely thing. I think when it comes to something like that and helping people, it being done at the precise time is very important as well, and not a week later or 2 weeks later, whatever. And I know that we have the up on the main street where we've taken all of these clothes and whatnot from the Sadaqah. I think that maybe if we do something as a community to get this place established to where we actually have clothes on racks, on hangers, and this and that, so that when something does happen, it's already set up, and it's just a matter of letting people know, okay, this is where we at. We have flyers or business cards. If you need clothing, whatever, you can come by here and get it. But one of the most important things is to get it to where these clothes are on some type of racks, displayed, or whatever, where people can come through and, the sizes, so on and so forth, so that it's readily available.
Is this a thrift store or?
No. I don't know. It's supposed to be something. I don't know. The Imam would know more about it. I'm just a suggestion. I'm not saying it's something that's. He knows more about it, but so that's the one thing there. As far as the other thing with the second topic that you were talking about,
anti-Islamic.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is about having armed protesters going to masjids to protest. So if somebody's showing up at the masjid armed, there's not really too much talking to do at that point. I mean, it's past the point of talking. So even like when they did it at the one in Phoenix, I mean, they're letting these things be known far in advance. There was plenty of police presence there, whatever, and to draw a line between the two sides. But if people show up here, I mean, we gotta defend your house. There's no talking. There's nothing to talk about.
But just like you mentioned about not responding late to the disaster relief, a week later or 2 weeks later, the same way we need to prepare in advance should anything like this go. We don't know that it would ever happen. But I think that we need to look at developing a healthy type of and functional relationship with local law enforcement.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In advance, so that they know that these are our concerns, and so that they will work for us to make sure and to keep these types of problems from arising. We got to give you an example. If something like that were to occur and we didn't know anything about it, I do believe that we have some hotheads in our own community that might even precipitate big problems.
Sounds like Noah's Ark. He can step back a little bit.
So, inshallah, I mean, this is just one of the suggestions of a topic to discuss. There may be other concerns that the Imam or any of you feel we need to discuss in the remaining time that we have. Lukman?
Can they come on property? Because it's a private property.
No, they
can't
could
come
not.
on the property, but they can walk
But
the
they
street.
free to stay outside, but
Yes.
as long as they don't come in the masjid, it should be fine.
But you know, they're also very provocative.
They
You see.
freedom of speech, that ain't tough.
Yeah, well, it's one thing to say that, but it's another thing to respond to it or to not respond. I mean, people, we have to, just like we have to be trained to respond to disaster relief, we have to be trained to respond to the ignorance. I mean, and we know what Allah says in the Quran and how the Prophet ﷺ dealt with it, but as human beings, we fall short of that. And sometimes, like I said, we got some hotheads who will gladly go outside of the fence and take it to them. And then, what happens then?
Akhi,
Yes.
blessings, inshallah, we count as a blessing that we are not on the street right away. This one, you understand?
No.
So between you and the street, you're talking about, what, 25, 50 feet, okay, away. We on our property. They could not come inside the property, okay? Let's assume that somebody tried to come on the property, okay? There is some people been paid by the city and the state and the government to take care of this business, okay? So it's faster and quicker and more professional that you call 911, okay? But if you're going to start to understand any kind of interaction with them, peaceful interaction or forcing, is not. As long as they did not step in your property, I don't think that we should have anything to do with it. All right? What one main thing, because this is going to be in the recording. Because one main thing you understand that it's quicker and faster that you call 911 than dealing with something. But what we need to do, as example, when you know about there is an action going to be taking place, number one, stay home, okay, means women and children, okay? This is number one. We don't need, you understand, women and children to be in that time or that day to be there. Number two, that those people who get emotionally and quick start to get angry, we don't need them to be part of what's going on. Number three, if the people do not have a respect to leadership, those people also, they don't have to be here. So if there is an imam or a person been put in charge of such operation, before we do anything, we have to consult him first. Okay? There is a way and means, and we can watch from a distance, we can see what's going on. These people are going to be walking with flags, you understand, saying words, okay, to provoke you. So for you to start now, they're going to do something else, and now will become self-defense. So we shouldn't. We have to know how to be organized. We have to know how to take order, okay, from those in charge, how we can keep ourselves safe and secure, all right, and that there is a proper authority in the country. This is their job. Basically, what the Quran says, وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. When the foolish one address them, they say peace. You don't think you can say peace? Stay away from it, right? Because this is not, you understand, a matter of somebody coming and start to fight. Because they are not going to start to do something until you do something. And they know the law, they know the rules, the regulation, they know they can walk in the street, on the sidewalk, okay? You don't own the sidewalk. They can say certain words, okay? They call it freedom of expression. So you don't know how to control your anger, don't come, okay? Don't come. So and also we have to know what other people, other organizations dealt with certain things like this.
Any other comments, concerns?
In Phoenix, when they had the rally last time, the Imam actually moved the Jummah Salat from there. They didn't have a Jummah during that time. So would that be something that we would consider, or but that was a big rally. They had a huge rally with the open carry, and they had hundreds of people. The only people that showed up was the people who were defending the Muslims. They're just local
law enforcement?
Well, law enforcement was there, but a lot of the local people came to defend the Muslims, but the Muslims didn't show up. They didn't have the Juma there.
What he's saying is if they plan it like they did in Charleston, if they plan to do it at the masjid at Juma time.
That's what they're usually trying to do.
So that's how they do it, because that's the busiest time.
Yes.
So most of the time they plan it at the masjid at the time of Juma.
So the question, Wasim asked is, Imam, would that be something to consider?
Will be something to be consulted about it in that time. We are not going to make any decision now about things like this, okay? And we are not going to be made it known. When it comes, like I said, when the list is there is emails. You can send the emails to everybody. In less than a minute, everybody knows. There is no Juma. This is it, finish. Stay home. We can consult the police. We can consult to understand the security or whatever it is. But this is not something for us to discuss now. We need to discuss about means and ways to keep things secure and safe, how to act, how to interact, all these things. How to be in touch with those people in the police station and all these things. So let this to be a means for us to start think and prepare and educate ourselves. And number one, we need to get together first. We are not together, okay? We are not together.
Like part of the preparation could be like knowing when they're doing it, somehow monitoring their Facebook page and just being aware of it. Because they usually plan it ahead of time. And maybe having some media person ready in case they do decide to come here. Maybe we could beef up our security system or camera system just to take proactive action.
They already circulate some emails, okay, and they call to be international, to be something for everybody, not only certain places, okay? But how many of us involved in the mosque or care about what's going on in the mosque, okay? So this is once a month a meeting. How many people show up? You have 400 people for Juma, and this is a meeting here. You don't have 40 people even, okay? So we need to work on ourselves before we talk about all these things. That we need to have people committed, they care for the mosque. It's not only when there is time you understand that everybody have to show off, you understand everybody coming. No, we need to be committed to the mosque itself first. Plus we believe in something, لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله, that there is no power or might except by Allah. Okay? الذين قال لهم الناس إن الناس قد جمعوا لكم فاخشوهم فزادهم إيمانا وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. Those who've been said that people had gathered for you, okay? So fear them. They said Allah suffice us, okay? And this did not increase them other than faith. We need to learn what's Islam, how we do with these things Islamically, not emotionally. All right? I think with something in your agenda concerning how to revive the community, or you maybe forgot your list.
Actually, no, I have. I mean, this is from the previous meetings before. We discussed this topic.
Okay, what was the result? Maybe remind me. I'm getting old.
I was not at the last meeting.
Oh,
so that you tell me.
You did not have it for this meeting?
For this meeting?
Yes.
I have items that haven't even been addressed. So we mentioned things, but nothing has been done.
Okay.
So we can't keep going from meeting to meeting to meeting, saying the same things and not doing anything about these things.
I thought you and the Imam, I saw both of you that was in the office.
We talked about those two things.
Which one?
The ones that we've just addressed, the disaster response and the anti-Islam. And
how to activate the community, this was not part of it.
Well,
do you want to discuss it?
I think we need to discuss it, but I think that it's going to, now it's time for Salat al-Maghrib, and I would like to
Don't worry, the Imam is not here. We can talk until the Imam comes.
I would like to hear from the Jama'ah, those who are here. This has been an ongoing concern. how to get the people, the Muslims, to be more involved and active in the community. You all are here.
You mean in the mosque, not in the community?
Yeah, in the masjid.
There is no community.
What can we do? What are we not doing? What needs to be done in order to stimulate more activity, more participation? Anyone have any ideas? So we can move on to other topics, inshallah.
It's not a whole lot you can do.
So what are you saying? It's hopeless?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, that's one response. Yes, Tawheed.
What if we start engaging with the youth of the community and the children through social media? So start becoming more active on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of those avenues. Like show the masjid activities to try to give them incentive to bring themselves and their parents here.
Alhamdulillah, I know that our youth are really very active in social media. I would like to recommend that maybe those who do that, use that. But most of us may not even deal with that. I think it's more effective that we interact personally, one-on-one, face-to-face, rather than, we use these mediums. But your point is well taken. We do need to engage our youth and make them, give them ways and means to become more involved in the community activities.
Whose youth are you talking about? Your youth is different from his youth. So I think we might need to clarify that. We need to clarify what we targeted here.
Would you please make that clarification?
I'm asking
you.
What demographic you talking about? Everybody, of course, but everybody
younger than 60.
Oh, okay.
I think what Tawheed is saying is very important. Like, if you could attract the youth by doing activities in the masjid, besides it doesn't have to be just religious activity. That's a weak point for a lot of parents.
Yeah, we've had, we have had activities, but we stop and start. We need some adult Muslim brothers and sisters, men and women, who are willing to take responsibility to be a part of it, to get those things going, to get these activities going and keep them going. Because once we have that, the youth will come. But if you started and then started and stopped, they lose trust and they lose interest. So we need to ask you right here, ourselves right here, who is willing and interested in participating in developing a Muslim boys group, a young men group, a young ladies group, to get them involved on a weekly basis and doing activities together. Yes, Sister Afros.
Tutoring service will be a great avenue. Homework helpers or tutoring service that may attract the youth that need help.
That's a good idea. Alhamdulillah. We need someone to organize that. Do you have any suggestions of who might want to organize that effort?
Inshallah, we can organize it.
Barakallah feek. Alhamdulillah. Mahmoud.
Maybe, we have weekly talks on various things, Sira and Aqidah. Maybe we need one topic like contemporary things, how you, how do you rebuild your skill set on
Topics that address the specific needs of the youth.
right now, not necessarily the youth, how do you, what's going on outside,
Fadal.
how do you deal with those things?
No. Alhamdulillah.
I think MSA has a lot of activities going on.
You think?
Yes, they do. They collect a lot of food that they take it from the cafeterias and stuff, and they deliver it to the locations.
Alhamdulillah.
So we need to probably have some of those guys come in and help have activities here at the masjid. Especially after this disaster, we'll have a lot of home building that will need help.
Do we have any MSA members here? You're active MSA member now?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Would you like to comment on that? Or respond in any way?
I don't think they have anything.
I don't have.
They barely even can get election or get 5 people together.
Sorry.
Grass looks
green from the other side.
I don't know. I just need to probably reach out to those guys.
It used to be actually 7 years ago.
No, I'm talking about like a couple months ago. They had for the USC students all religion, to come and chat about, ask questions about Islam.
Interfaith.
So we just recently did that.
Are you active in the MSA today?
Yeah, but I'm not a board member or anything like that.
But
so
you know who they are?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, can you kind of see what's going on with them and let them know that we would like to have them, the presence and the participation?
Yeah.
Inshallah. So you would like to fire under them? Inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Brother Sabri, I think
Yes.
I think we should be more clear and more definitive of what you're saying about having more participation. What exactly do you mean? Do you mean more people coming for class? Do you mean more people just being at the masjid? Do you mean more people doing things like helping out as far as maintenance of the masjid? Do you mean more people being here for salah on a regular basis? What exactly?
All of that.
Okay, but we have to start somewhere.
Yeah, we do, but it means all of that. It means that each and every one of us who are here and those who are not here, taking an interest in making the masjid to be the central focus of our lives, where this is what we do. That we come and we involve ourselves in whatever way we can. We take ownership in what goes on here, and we take responsibility to advance it, to help improve it. Whether it's attending classes or sponsoring activities, all that you mentioned is what we need. Now, where would you suggest we should start?
Well, I already gave my list of suggestions, but I know
your
this week.
Your list of suggestions had to do with the maintenance and upkeep.
But you know what? If you do something like that, say for example, if you had a particular project and you had people here working on that project, depending on how long it takes, they'll probably be here during the time for salah. So now automatically you have 3 people or 4 people here because they're doing something, but now they're here for Asr Salah. Well, otherwise they would have been somewhere else. So the unintended consequence is now that you have a few extra people here for Salah. Like I know this past week, some of the sisters got together to bring the kids here to have them go out and play on the playground. You see, and by the sisters wanting to come together and bring their kids here, the smaller kids, and play on the playground, the sisters got together and the sisters were here. And by them being here together, they all put in on something and made a lunch to this. So now the lunch is here, so now that brings the brothers here. I'm just saying. And it all started with the kids. So maybe if there was, something, because if I want to take my kids somewhere to play, I can take them to a playground here, there, or I can bring them to the masjid, you see? And if we did things like that, that would, even like a lot of times after Jum'ah, is usually people here until the Maghrib Quran class or whatever. Give people, make things better, incentives for parents to stay with the kids, which makes the parents stay. And now the parents are here for salah, are here for a class, and I just think that the thing earlier in the week really made me think about it with the sisters bringing their kids here and they being here, and even some brothers came because their wife and family is here, and they said, okay, well, I'm going to have lunch with them. It was just like a domino effect.
This is a good idea. What activity would you like to do or encourage the brothers to do?
I just get a plate.
Have the same type of effect.
Oh.
Besides coming to eat with the sisters prepared.
That's a good idea, but Brother Habib was saying, like, if Juma already people are here, maybe we could improve that since the people are here. Right after Juma, have good food, and maybe have like a little class and be ready for us.
There's a huge gap that, like, a lot of people, because they have the Quran class, and I think maybe this is a good day where we can brainstorm on something to start it with. Could be on a Friday, because it's a huge gap after Juma. I mean, I know it's going to change because the time is going to go back, but until the class starts at Maghrib, there's still people here, and we should, I stay here for a few hours, whatever, to try to focus on something that we could do. And sometimes when it's hot outside, it's raining outside, the kids are just inside here running around. To try to channel that energy or figure out something to do. I'm not saying I have the answer. It's just I see that, and I feel like
There's an opportunity.
Yeah, it's an opportunity there. Exactly. To take advantage of that time.
That is the answer, that we can start from Juma.
Inshallah. Yes, sister.
I was going to say 2 things. One, I've been working on getting together a group for the youth girls, so that might help to have put the word out about that a little bit appearing, you know, where there's food, there'll be people. So maybe once a month or twice a month, we could try to host a dinner here, where like not just one person cooks or not just one family, but every family who comes brings one dish type of thing, potluck style, and then everybody gets together and they come for the food, but they stay because there'll be a big group of people maybe to talk to each other, to get to be together, and that can start to integrate all the other things by just having people have more of a community with each other. They'll, you know, build friendships with each other and spend time together, and that can start to make them want to, you know, come and be more involved. So if we organize that it's, you know, happening regularly instead of just occasionally, it might be a good thing.
So this raises the question, Jazakallah khair, sister, are we prepared to revisit the once a month community dinners that we used to have? Can we?
The question is,
yes.
Why you died out? Why
nobody was coming?
Starts, I mean, let's find out what the problem is. We know we have problems. Let's find out why. Why we have this problem? When we had this weekend meeting, we have what 150 people at least a month. After a month, the numbers started dropping. Why?
We never had 150
yes,
at this meeting. No. Not since we started this meeting. We never had 150 actually.
More than what
unless it was a day that was maybe it happened that was a couple of
it's
weeks.
more
Of course, but not 150. Maybe 40 or 50. But anyway, your point is well taken. I mean, we don't want to start something over again and run into the same problem if we haven't solved the problem.
We need to find out the problem. Just this morning I suggested if we have the games up.
Does anybody have any answer to his question?
When we had the lane for hours, the things that were you know, even when they used to, stairs playing ping pong, you know what I'm saying? And you know, it's something to keep them occupied, even if they say, okay, look, we're gonna go to the masjid for Dhuhr, and after that we're gonna play ping pong, play volleyball all the way until I don't think they're doing. I mean, it doesn't have to be. You're in the nose. So now you're there for two salahs. Even when we had the basketball court, and I know we have one over there, it's a little bit dilapidated, whatever. But when I was growing up, I mean, that would keep us here for hours, you know. So, I mean, I think, and also this encourages, you know, some type of physical activity instead of everybody just sitting around, you know, on their phones and, you know, playing games on apps or whatever. I mean, this kind of stuff like that, things are going. I mean, if we concentrate on, you know, the teenagers down, and it'll affect the rest of them, because the teenager's not going to be here by this. Here, father be here, and you know.
Yes, your point.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of good ideas, but the reason why I said I don't know is we always come up with these ideas. The first 1 or 2 months is good, and after that it goes down south. So it's just like Brother Abu Sabi said. How can we, whatever idea we come up with, how can we maintain it? Because it's a lot of ideas that we can come up that is good, but you don't, after 2 or 3 months, you're not gonna find nobody.
I think
just like the dinner that the lady said, we used to have that.
Like from youth gathering, we do the Street Brothers. There'll be times when you'll have a bunch of kids there, a lot of families are out there. But then there'll be times when there might be only 3 or 4 kids out there. But the key is, no matter what, if you start, just continue it. And inshallah, it will eventually, now it's to a point where like every gathering, there's people there. But in the beginning, it took a while, but now people are used to it. So 10 might not come, but there's other 10 that will come. So I think the key is just to continue it no matter what. 5 people show up, 50 people show up, just